In 2017, when I was 18, I was watching a friend's house and dogs sitting there, 2 wiener dogs and their shepherd lab mix. It was my friend, F18, her mum, F57, and her stepdad, M59. They went off to visit some family in Northern California, and they asked me if I would be interested in watching the house and the dogs for them for some extra cash for a week. I lived not too far from their home, so it wasn't an inconvenience at all. I worked at the local Taco Bell while I was going to school and usually worked 1 to 9, 2 to 10, or 3 to 11, and I worked every day. But one day, which was the first day, the first couple of days went smoothly. On the third day, though, I worked 1 to 9, so I got off from my shift and started to drive to their house, which was about 10 to 15 minutes away. So I was listening to music. But when I pulled up to the house, I saw the 3 dogs in the street near the driveway, and the garage door open and the front door open. I stupidly parked in the driveway and gathered all the dogs and got them all back in the house, because I was really scared that it was my responsibility to watch them, and they could have gotten lost or ran over. The home had 4 doors downstairs, 1 front door, 1 door leading to the garage, 1 kitchen side door leading to the backyard, and 1 back door leading to the backyard. All of these doors were open, including the garage door, not the door leading to the garage, the car pull-in door, which I saw when I pulled in. So I quickly closed and locked all the doors so the dogs wouldn't escape. The dogs were acting normal. The 2 wiener dogs went to the couch, and the lab followed me upstairs. There was 4 doors upstairs, 3 to bedrooms, and 1 to a bathroom. All of them were open, but when the family left, the parents' room door was closed, and so was my friend's door. The windows were also all opened, but only upstairs, which was extremely weird, so I called the police, and they searched the house, and no one was in there, and everything seemed to be okay. The rest of my stay was quiet, and nothing happened. When the family got back home, they checked the house, and nothing had been stolen. To this day, I'm still not only upset by my stupidness because it could have gone as different, but also I am creeped out by why all of the doors being opened, which seemed weird to the cops as well because during break-ins, usually 1 or 2 doors are opened, not every single door, and upstairs windows. Alright, this is going to be a long one. So, to give some context, I like to have my friends over for D&D occasionally. D&D, for those who don't know, is Dungeons & Dragons. I'm the DM, so I always set it up. But lately, we haven't really been able to find a date that we can all agree on, and so D&D is practically over. This time, we'll be focusing on my birthday, where I decided to have D&D. My 3 friends, who we'll call G, S, and K, came over at around 2 p.m. for them to hang out, play D&D, and spend the night. We had a blast, and at about halfway through our session, we even took a nice break and walked to a nearby park to dick around. When we got back, my parents took our orders for some pizza place and we got back to playing. When the pizza arrived, I decided to just wrap up the session before we ate, and so we were done playing D&D or the night. When we were done eating, we just hung out and did whatever until night fell. We all like to get spooky sometimes, and so at night we usually like to hang out either outside or inside with all the lights off. I've had multiple sleepovers with them, so we've done a lot of stuff at night. Usually nothing happens, but there have been 2 times where something happened, and one of them was kinda uneventful. The first time was on my aforementioned birthday, and we were basically playing hide and seek in the dark. I know we sound like dorks. I was the seeker, and they hid all around the outside of my house. I decided to secretly get my dog, Maggie, and walk her around with me as a joke, like she was a guard dog or something. I ended up making like 4 laps around my house looking for them, and I started to get bored. I called out to them to say that I gave up, and they all exposed themselves. I admitted defeat, and we all stood around joking about how bad I was at seeking. My dog Maggie suddenly flipped out and bolted toward the street, literally breaking completely free of her collar. It did have a shitty plastic lock on it, but still, she had to have been freaked out. I turned to see her sprinting at a lady and a Doberman. Yeah. This old-looking lady walking a hulking, massive Doberman. That was weird enough, but the weirdest part was how she just stood there, unmoving. I fumbled to get Maggie's collar back on while she sniffed and growled at the Doberman, who was also completely still. I kept apologizing, but she just stood there, silent and still. She was wearing a hat, and it completely shadowed her face. I apologized again and lingered there, waiting for any kind of a response. I swear on my life, her head twitched, almost violently. I was seriously freaked out, so I practically ran back over to my friends, who were watching from afar, as creeped out as I was. We spent the rest of the night inside. What really weirded me out was how aggressive Maggie was. She's a really nice, friendly dog. When she meets new people, she always runs up to them and starts sniffing and kissing them. With dogs, she'll start sniffing them, and I've always seen her get along with other dogs. Not this lady, and especially not her dog. Maggie growled like she wanted to kill that Doberman. It was practically a snarl. Even while we were walking inside, the lady just stood there, staring at us. The rest of the time that they were over, nothing notable happened. For days after that, I couldn't shake a weird feeling, like that classic feeling of being watched. To this day, I've never seen that lady or her Doberman. Also, to this day, I haven't gone to that street at night. So, a little background on myself. I'm a 20-year-old college student on break for the holidays. My parents took a short 4-day trip out of town, so me and my sister, 18F, got stuck on dog-sitting duty. We have 3 Cavalier King Charles Spaniel dogs, 2 females and 1 male, all in between the ages of 1 to 2. The male, named Cheese, has an obsession with these rubber balls. Some background on this dog Cheese. His behaviour could be described as erratic and hyper. He is the type of dog to chase shadows, lights, flies, obsessively lick us, and just has always been a little more stranger than our 2 other dogs. In other words, he has very obsessive, erratic behaviour. One of his obsessions is a specific type of rubber ball that he loves to squeeze in his mouth as it makes a squeaking sound. It is the only toy he has that he is majorly obsessed with. We have bought him a handful of these balls because they go missing occasionally, roll under furniture, or get lost outside. After a certain amount of time, we put the balls up in a designated spot, a flower pot up on a mantle in Cheese's view, because if not, he will literally chew on this ball all night or tear up the couch looking for it if he does not see us put his ball away in the flower pot. This particular weekend, he has had the same ball the whole time because we have kept it near for when he decides he wants it, or up in the flower pot for us to easily find where it is when it's time to play. Typically, the ball will roll under the couch in the living room multiple times while he is playing. We go through the same routine where he scratches at the floor to let us know the ball has rolled underneath. We are able to get the ball with a designated back scratcher. It is a long arm that extends, that we use specifically to recover his balls that have rolled under something. In addition, we use a flashlight to see the ball because it is a dark area under the couch. All weekend, my sister and I have been retrieving this ball for him, as it is a normal occurrence in our house that the ball will roll under the couch. However, we only saw this single ball every time we went to retrieve it from under the couch. There were no other balls under this couch. We had not seen any of his other balls the entire weekend, just the one he had been playing with. The other handful of balls were unaccounted for. Last night, my sister and I put on a movie for the night around 9 p.m. Around an hour and a half into the movie, I look over and Cheese is acting not like himself. He is acting extremely calm. Too calm for his normal erratic behaviour. Cutting the movie short, I carried him outside to go potty and just cuddled him all night because I knew the poor guy wasn't feeling good, but I knew he just needed to sleep it off. Like I said, his ball is his favourite toy, so I took that ball and put it next to him as he slept, just to give him more comfort. I turned off the lights in the house and cleaned up the living room and headed to bed with him and the 2 other girl dogs, who were completely normal, by the way. Cheese was the only one acting different. They are very attached dogs, so the girls sleep under the covers by my feet and didn't move positions all night, as I do wake up during my sleep a few times occasionally and could feel them still there. I also would check on Cheese as he stayed put in the same position with his ball next to him all night. Now this is the unexplainable part. When I wake up, Cheese is completely back to his normal erratic self. I get up, grab his ball, and put it in my hoodie pocket to give to him after he's finished breakfast. He won't eat his food if he sees his ball. I walk out to the living room, and on the floor, right next to the couch, there are 3 of his balls in a triangle formation sitting there. Remember, I was the last person in the living room last night after tidying it up, and there was nothing there. I go to my sister's room to ask her, "Hey, did you find 3 of Cheese's balls and put them next to the couch last night?" She responds, no. We were the only 2 people in this house, so who found the extra balls and why were they all gathered next to each other? I know it couldn't have been one of the dogs because they were with me all night. Keep in mind there were no extra balls under the couch, and these balls were unaccounted for all weekend. So now I have 4 of these balls, including the one he has had all weekend. Where did these extra balls come from? Who placed them there? I haven't seen another ball in days. I keep raking my mind trying to think of a logical answer, but I cannot. This is truly unexplainable, and I am creeped out. Thank you for spending time with me. If you have a true story you'd like to share, something eerie, strange, or unforgettable, send them to my email in the description below. clairetruestory@gmail.com. I'd love to feature your story in an upcoming video. Until next time, stay safe, stay warm, and stay cozy.